Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the book The Comeback by Ella Berman. This is a book that I did not know much about. It was recommended to me when I was kind of just looking for something to read in a bookstore, and I decided to go ahead and check it out. So The Comeback is about a woman named Grace Turner. Her real name is Grace Hyde, but she is known to the public as Grace Turner. She is a famous actress whose career kicked off when she was very young, when she was a young teenager. And she was in the public eye for a long time. She was this up and coming, really talented, impressive actress. And then she all of a sudden sort of fell off, and she left Hollywood. She stopped making movies, and her career, of course, plummeted. And the media came after her, declared her a failure, said she's in the middle of a breakdown, and had a lot of nasty things to say about her. And so The Comeback is all from the point of view of Grace as she sort of tries to get her life back on track and heal from a lot of the crazy things that she endured working in Hollywood at a young age. She came into the light working under a very well-regarded director named Abel, but she had a very strange relationship with him, and it turns out he is an abusive person. He's a pretty terrible person. So she's kind of caught in a weird situation with wanting to expose him, but also not knowing if she's ready to do that and to come out about this part of her life. And so she's kind of caught in a psychologically complicated situation and doesn't know where to turn in life. The book is really just from Grace's point of view as she's sort of moving around Hollywood, trying to repair some relationships that have gone wrong, trying to get her career back on track, but wanting to do it in the right way. It's not so much a crazy plot motivated book. It really takes place over a short period of time, and you're completely in Grace's head throughout the book. So that's kind of an overview of the story. So the writing in this novel, I think, is really excellent. Ella Berman is very talented, and she accomplishes something very impressive in this novel in that you completely feel like you are in Grace's head throughout the entire book. You feel like she's a real person and that you can understand all of her thought processes and why she is the way that she is. Grace is an interesting character because she's very flawed. She can tend to be a little bit self-absorbent, but she's very aware of her own flaws. So there's a lot of self-reflection from her and a lot of just really interesting psychological perspectives from her character that I really enjoyed. And again, it feels so real. There's a lot of details throughout this book that make it feel very authentic. It feels like you're there. And I also really enjoyed the way that she incorporated the dark side of Hollywood and what it would be like to be so famous that if you're like going to the gas station or the grocery store or something to pick something up, there is paparazzi lurking in every corner waiting to take a bad photo of you that'll end up on the tabloids the next day. So that type of thing, I imagine, would be really scary and kind of psychologically disturbing after a while, just to know that whatever you do, wherever you go, you're not safe from the media and from the rest of the world. I can only imagine how frightening that would be, and how much it could kind of mess with a person's mental health. So I do think she did an incredible job of incorporating the idea of fame and the media and Hollywood and what it would be like to be swept up into that world. She also did a really beautiful job laying out the background of Grace's rise to stardom, and her relationship with Abel, which was very complex and very disturbing in a lot of ways, but incredibly well written. So again, I think Ella Berman is really talented, and I did really enjoy the writing in this novel. So I don't have a lot of critiques for this book. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me as far as negatives. I will say the plot is a little bit rambly. It's not a clear action-packed plot. There's not a lot of momentum in it. It's more just Grace wandering around town, having conversations with different people. And again, the writing is so good that I do think it's compelling to read regardless. But if you are looking for something with a little bit more of a fast-paced plot and the momentum that will keep it moving and keep you invested in the story, this might not be the #1 book for you, because again, the plot is a little bit more subdued and a little bit more slow-paced. But and I will also say, and I like kind of looking at the way that books are marketed versus the way that they actually read. And I don't think that the marketing of this novel is at all accurate to what it is. That wasn't really a problem to me because I wasn't really sold by the marketing, but it makes it look like it's almost some sort of revenge fantasy, this like satisfying tale of justice, and Grace is going to be this like strong woman coming in to save the day and expose this evil character. And there are hints of that throughout the novel, but it's definitely not that type of book, that like simplistic, yay, we can root for Grace type of book. It's very complicated, and there are a lot of nuances to every aspect of the story. And the marketing is not accurate at all. I don't think this little description on the back is at all accurate. It says, "The Comeback is a moving and provocative story of justice, a true page-turner about a young woman finding the strength and power of her voice." I mean, it's kind of about that, but I just feel like that would give you a really unclear idea of what the book is actually about. And it also emphasizes this like award ceremony that Abel is going to have, as if that's like a big pinnacle turning point of the book. And it's kind of important, but it's really not the main emphasis. So if anything, this book is really more about Grace's relationship with her sister and with her family, and of course with her own self-esteem and getting her mental health back on track. So I will say the marketing is only somewhat accurate. Not that that's really a negative, but just something that I would want to make people aware of. But again, this book is beautiful. I really don't have a lot of criticisms for it. I do think it will appeal to a certain audience more than it will appeal to just broad audiences overall. If you do like things that are a little bit more psychological, dark, and very sort of interior focused, you might really, really enjoy this book. And of course, it illuminates the power imbalances and a lot of issues within Hollywood that I think are very relevant and worth discussing. So I do really recommend The Comeback. Even the even the title is a little bit misleading because it implies that Grace is, you know, super motivated to make this huge comeback in her career, and she's going to return and be this hero, and that's really not what the book is about. So again, I do think the marketing is a little bit off base. I understand when you're trying to sell a book, the complexities and the more subtle aspects of it are maybe not the most marketable, but I just think it's funny that this book is advertised the way that it is, but it is so different from what it sounds like from the description. So I do really recommend The Comeback. I would give it an 8 out of 10. If you have read it, let me know your thoughts. And this is the first book that I've read by Ella Berman. I'm not sure what else she's written, but I would definitely be interested in reading her other works because I think she's really, really talented. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know your thoughts.